Hey everyone, you did it, you made it, you guys walked across that stage. You can now say, I'm done with middle school, you're moving on to high school, you're moving on to bigger and better things, and I bet that feels really good, and I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm already starting to feel emotional, and I'm really gonna try to keep that in check for this video. So I need to preface something. I normally sit down with these videos and I do a little bit of pre-writing because I want to say certain things to my 8th grade students who are moving on, and I wanted to definitely do that with you guys, but I sat down 3 different times to kind of write out what I wanted to say to you guys. And I couldn't get through them. I had to stop because I was doing this thing where if you're writing and I started to have like tears kind of well up in my eyes and I couldn't see what I was writing, and I was like, I can't do this right now, I have to stop. And so I did that 3 different times where I had to stop. Like, getting emotional is not my thing. Like, I don't normally cry, and like I definitely feel emotion, but I'm not good at expressing it, and you guys have brought forth a lot of tears for me, but they weren't tears because I was upset. They're bittersweet. I mean, I've known you guys since you were 6th graders. That was when I first started teaching at the middle school. You guys were in middle school as long as I've been teaching middle school. Like, this is only my 3rd year of teaching middle school, and I certainly hope that those years were worth your while and you guys feel like you've grown as an individual from that time in middle school. So for you guys, I mean, when I was even substituting for you guys when you were 6th graders, I had no idea who you were, and I was certainly intimidated to talk to you because, 6th graders aren't normally my thing. Like, I definitely want to talk more to the 8th graders and 7th graders. I mean, I got attached to you guys. And that's always my biggest problem. Like, I'm so ready for you guys to move on to bigger and better things, but I was really sad to see you guys go. And of course, I don't want you back, and not meaning that in a bad way at all, but I do want you guys to move on, and I'm so proud and happy for you guys. But I'm having like a lot of bittersweet feelings going on with you guys moving up, and I just love this year so much because of you guys. Like, you guys were amazing. You guys were awesome. And because you guys were so awesome, I was able to actually start pursuing my master's degree. So I was able to start taking 2 classes and continuing with that on top of doing my full-time job teaching, and then taking those 2 courses in the evening, like 3-hour-long classes. And that was really stressful. That was a lot to juggle for me, but you guys felt like a break. Like, when I was teaching, I didn't feel like it was working. Like, yeah, it's my job, but I liked it. Like, you guys make me feel like I have the coolest job in the world, and that's because I do. And that's because of you guys. So thank you so much for helping me continue with my goals, and you guys are helping push me to make me the best person I can be, make me the best teacher I can be. And I sincerely hope that I've been able to push you guys to feel like I want to see you guys achieve your goals. I want to see you guys become the best people you can be as well. Now, did some of you frustrate me? Yes. Did some of you not show me what you're truly capable of? Double yes. Did a couple of you make me feel like I was going insane constantly? Every day. But I really want you guys to feel as though, like I cherish those moments, because I know that I won't get that to last. Like, eventually you guys will walk across that stage, and then I won't see you guys again, or at least you'll be in the high school, and that's great. And then you guys will go from the high school and move on to what you guys want to do with your life. I was in August, and we were laughing about something, and that, like, it was August, like the beginning of the school year, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss that. And it's August. Like, I was already reflecting on how much I was gonna miss you guys at the beginning of the school year. But I think we had some really good times. I have to say, our ending of the year with all those narratives, all the storytelling, not a single one of you wrote a bad story. Now, we definitely need to address some of the grammar and prescriptive language with some of them, but everybody had an interesting story to tell. Like, I was chomping at the bit to read them and turn that page. And for some of you where, like, you you finished the story, but you didn't have it where like it continued. Like I would turn the page and be upset that that was the end, because you guys were able to craft these really cool narratives. And I would definitely encourage a solid handful of you, if not, I mean, all of you really, but a solid handful of you to keep writing in your future career choice. Like I'm not saying you have to go into it, but I couldn't write like that when I was in 8th grade. I was so impressed. I was so impressed with you guys. So what I want you guys to remember when you reflect back on being in middle school or being in my classroom was that it was a time that was positive, a time that was educational, and something that was worthy of your time. Now, every class has their strengths, every class has their weaknesses, and I would like to kind of explain and show you guys what I noticed throughout this school year. Because some of you I've known for 3 years, some of you I've known for 2 years, and some of you, sadly, I only had you for 1 year being in 8th grade. But strengths, let's talk about those real quick. You guys are incredibly funny, and I don't know, it was not always appropriate, but like you guys are really funny, like really good with humor, really good with punchlines. Like you guys are really clever, witty, smart, intelligent. There's a lot of Ravenclaws in your class, but you guys are so humorous. Like you guys were smart with how you deliver a joke, and you guys would get things that when I was your age, it would have gotten over my head, not because it was inappropriate, but because I wasn't at that level to like understand that level of sarcasm. Incredibly sarcastic, but in like a really positive, funny way where I could have conversations with you guys. Like there was a couple of you I could geek out on grammar or my philosophy on my pedagogy and the way I want to teach, my philosophy of teaching, and you could engage with me like one-on-one in a conversation where that just does not happen with my students because that's such an adult conversation. But you guys would allow me to geek out on anything, and I appreciate that because one, it wouldn't be something that's needed for the lesson, but it was something that I think would contribute to the conversation and the lesson that we were talking about. And for some of you, I think that kind of helped foster that intrigue in my class, because I know everyone, not their cup of tea would writing be. So you guys were really strong with that, and that was just so cool. The other thing that I absolutely adore about your class is how socially acceptable you guys are. You guys are fighting the good fight. Like you guys don't discriminate. You guys defend one another when it comes to that, whether it's about like race, sex, religion, like whatever. You guys are incredibly socially accepting of others, and we need more people like you guys. So like be those social warriors that I know you are. Be kind to everybody, accept others. Like you guys are such a good role model, and I'm so excited to see you guys kind of carry that with you as you guys go through high school, and you guys can help create a setting that is going to be positive and have like those dynamics that are going to help shift continuously to make school a better place for others to be, especially as you guys get older and we get some younger students coming in, and you guys can kind of help continue that and be caretakers and make people feel happy to go to school, make people feel accepted at school. Because when I was in middle school, I felt like such an outcast. Like my friend group consisted of my friend Ryan and then my twin sister, who doesn't really count. So I had our group of 3, like that was it. And I truly do feel like had I been born in a different time, and if I was at the school, I would have a friend group that I would have been a part of in your class. And that means a lot to me because I didn't have that. And I want people who were like me to feel like they have that with you guys. So yeah, really, really try to pull people in because that does make a difference. Okay, moving over. Some weaknesses of you guys. Sorry, shift gears. We have to work on academic apathy. Some of you are incredibly gifted, but you're lazy, and that makes me mad because you have capabilities that are literally like up here, like through the roof. Like you don't deliver on them. Some of you, you're great. You turn in assignments, that's great, you're good, you're on task, like you guys are great, that's fine. Some of you need to buckle down and show those high school teachers what you're made of, what you're capable of, like get it, like you guys can change, you guys can have whatever you want, But if you are going to be lazy, if you're going to procrastinate, if you're going to be academically apathetic, you are sacrificing your education. And that is incredibly damaging. You have to really fix that because every single one of you, incredibly gifted and privileged, like you guys can use that. And then some of you choose not to. And that absolutely breaks my heart because there's nothing I can do to change that. I can only watch it happen. Like I can get on you, and some of you I did every single day. I can talk to every one of you. I can't make that change. You have to make that change. You have the power to get anything that is assigned to you done. And the better you're able to cope with that stress and those tasks, and you can stay organized, you can do anything. You can major in anything. You can go get whatever job you want because you have practice of getting what you want done. It's that easy. You can't be lazy. You can't afford that. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. With how gifted some of you are, don't throw that away. Don't do that to me. My expectations are up here. Go past those. The other thing, some of you are what I would like to call squeaky wheels. You like to squeak, you like to make noise, but the noise isn't really needed. And you know who you are. The most important thing you can do is listen. Listening promotes learning. And I know it's like educational, yeah, I gotta learn, but that's not really what I mean here. I mean learning as in taking in information, not just for your academic high school stuff, but learning about others. And the more you learn about others, the more socially acceptable you are of others. And then you're not just being the squeaky wheel when you have no idea what the heck you're talking about, because that is really damaging. And I mean, everyone here knows someone who is a squeaky wheel. We don't want squeaky wheels. We want people who are going to listen. And that way, when you do talk, you're worth listening to. Make sure what you're saying is worth someone listening to you. Otherwise, if you have something that really needs to be said, people aren't going to listen because of the excess talking, because you just want to be heard when what you're actually saying wouldn't necessarily be something that is needed. So think about how your words can affect others before you actually start talking. And I'm not just saying that about what you say about other people, it's how you respect yourself. And I think that's one of the biggest things with this class. I want you guys to respect yourselves, and that can be hard to do sometimes. As always in these videos, I like to offer 5 tips for this class. So I'm going to go ahead and just go through them. They are not in any particular order. They're just all 5 things that I think would definitely benefit this class. This one was said to you guys at graduation, and I wholeheartedly agree with it. Be present. Be active. Get engaged. Like, be in extracurricular activities. And if we can't offer some of those to you, go find something that interests you. Something that's going to benefit your life, help you develop interest, help you develop skills. Learn what makes you happy. What are you good at? What are you like? Even if it's something that you're like, I don't want to do that. I'll try it. Didn't work out. Don't do it next year. But the more you try and the more you learn, that can really benefit who you become as a person. It can give you skills that you can use later on in life, and it can just be extraordinarily beneficial. Be present in your classes. Listen to your teachers. You guys will have amazing teachers. Amazing teachers in high school. They really do care. Listen to them. Listen to what they say. So be present. Raise your hand, contribute to that conversation. Teachers get pretty excited when our students are actually asking us questions, and I think that makes me a better teacher, and I think it makes other teachers better teachers. Be healthy. And when I say that, I mean like you guys can start making a routine for you now, like starting those good habits now, and you can have 4 years of practice before you get out into the real world where you have to make solid decisions like every day. And the better you're prepared for that, the easier that transition will be. The other thing about being healthy is that you need to start considering what you're putting into your body. And of course, most people would think, yeah, food and drink, whatever. So yeah, definitely push water. Like water's super important. It's going to be good for your face. It's going to be good for your skin, just in general. It's going to keep you looking younger. It's going to keep you healthier. You're going to look better, but that's not all I mean. I know your age is targeted with substances, and some of you really need to consider a reality check on what you decide to put into your bodies, because that can be damaging. I don't care how safe you think it is, it's not. It wasn't even made with someone your age in mind. And I know there's a lot of you in the class, you're fine. You would never subject yourself to something like that, and you're making a really smart decision. But some of you need to take that step back and use high school as a means to leave some of that behind. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. This came up actually during, I believe it was my second hour. We talked about saying no and how sometimes that can be difficult to do, especially with there's social peer pressure in different situations. And I was astonished by how many people rose their hand and said, yeah, I have trouble saying no to things because we want to be people pleasers. Like, I'm a people pleaser. I want to help everybody. And I realized that saying yes, I'll help to everything was not good for my mental health at all. And it is really hard to take a step back and say, no, I won't be doing that. I can't help with that, because then I'm afraid someone's going to be mad at me or upset with me. But once I got into the mindset that saying no is perfectly acceptable, my life became a lot easier. And I want you guys to start being comfortable with saying no. It's okay to say no. Now, if mom or dad, grandma, grandpa, or someone says, hey, would you take out the trash? Just take out the trash. Do not say no to that. Like, just do that. What I'm saying no about is being pressured into something that makes you feel uncomfortable. And that could be in a relationship. It could be being offered a substance, or even if someone's just being very demanding in your friend group and it's all about them and they need you to do a billion things for them. It's okay to say no. I think we all as a society need to learn how to say no a little bit more, because we can't always please everyone, and it shouldn't be your responsibility to sacrifice your mental health because someone needs you to do something for them. So again, keep in mind, this was not something that is about a guardian saying, hey, can you help me with this? Yeah, help him out because you're good, you're cool, you can do that. It's about saying no when you know that that is the time that it matters to say no. So I want you guys to practice that. And even if in your friend group, if someone brings something up and says, hey, can you help me with this? Even if you do plan on helping, say no politely and see how they respond. You'll learn a lot. And then, of course, you can say, oh, actually, yeah, I'll help. But we also need to learn how to respect people who say, no, thank you. If someone says no, drop it. It's done. Don't pressure someone if someone has already said no. And again, with you guys being those social warriors, if you guys see this happening with another group and someone is saying no and you see someone else pressuring them, speak up. Say, hey, they said no. And no means no. And I think we can all benefit from that. Educate yourself. And I know this is kind of redundant because it's we're in school to learn, but I truly mean that. Educate yourself. Being educated is the most powerful thing that you can do for yourself. Being educated and learning is going to benefit you, and it will never take away. And I'm talking about not just your academic classes, but learning about things that you care about, your beliefs, your interests, your morals and values. The more you're educated on them, the more you can also have discussions and healthy arguments with people about them. And by default, then you should also be educating yourself as much as possible about the opposing views of whatever it is that you agree with or disagree with. That way, again, being educated is only going to benefit you on how to talk to people and have conversations that are sometimes difficult. But being educated and learning is your weapon against the world. That is going to destroy ignorance. It's going to help you get what you want done. I want you all to have the best life possible, and I want you guys to achieve those goals. And the more you learn, and the more you learn about how you learn, is only going to help you meet the goals that you want. And I want every single one of you to meet the goals that you want. The last one, I don't believe I've ever said it before, but it's be you. I want all of you to continue being who you truly are. A lot of things can change in high school, and that's totally normal. Friends can change, and I know some of us were already talking about that happening this year, but stay true to who you are. You know who you are. You know what's best for you, and I want you guys to keep that in mind. You are the only you that's ever going to exist, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So stay true to yourself. Know what's best for you and know what to pursue when the time comes when you guys graduate high school. Do something that makes you happy. Go into something that is worth your while. If you have followed everything I said, you should be ready for that next step. I love you guys, and don't ever be afraid to learn.